Okay, this is the quick review out of lesson 20. The very first thing they're going to do in the quick review on the D page is a fraction to a decimal. So looking at 20D number 9, so you have this fraction 1/8. Just as a reminder, that symbol means division. That's the operation you're doing. That is 1 divided by 8. I am completely okay that in pre-algebra to this point you guys are using your calculators. I'm going to do this long division way just to show you at least one time. This means 1 divided by 8. 1 divided by 8. The numerator always goes under the house. The denominator is always out front. Okay? I can't do 8 into 1, so what do? I add a decimal and then add a 0. When you're dividing with decimals, this decimal just gets moved straight up here. And then it's 8 into 10. 8 goes into 10 once. Multiply, subtract, add a 0, bring 1 down. 8 into 20, 2. 2 times 8, 16. I'm going through some of this kind of fast. Subtract that. 20 minus 16, that should be 4. Keep going. If you think there might not be a remainder, add a 0, bring 1 down. 8 into 40, 5. So it will divide evenly. Sometimes you can see if it's a repeating decimal or not. So this will go evenly with no remainder. So 1/8, turning it into a decimal, is the same as 0.1025. If you do it in your calculator, and you do in this order in your calculator, 1, your division symbol, and then 8. So in the calculator, 1 divided by 8, it will come up to 0.125. It should be a decimal number. If you only have 1/8 of a cookie, you only have part of a cookie. So it should be less than 1. Okay, look at 20D number 8, 9/40. Okay, so I'm going to do it in my calculator first. This means 9 divided by 40. So I'm literally doing 9 divided by 40 in my calculator. And that comes out to 0.225. Okay, but I'm going to do it long division just to prove to you that it will come out that way. So again, I'm okay that you use your calculator, but I still just want to remind you, long division. So it's 9 divided by, the numerator is under the house, 40 goes out in front. Okay, so 40 can't go into 9. So put a decimal, add a 0. Then when you're dealing with decimals, move your decimal straight up. Now I can just look at the numbers, 40 into 90. The most times 40 goes into 90, twice. 2 times 40, 80. Subtract, 10. Add a 0, bring it down. 40 into 100, 2. 2 times 40, 80. Subtract, 20. 40 can't go into 20. Add a 0, bring 1 down. 40 into 200, 5. 5 times 40, because 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4, 20. And then subtract, no remainder. So that just shows you, doing it long division, that it is 0.225. Okay, now let's do the reverse. Now let's do decimals to fractions. Okay, so looking at 20D number 11, you have this decimal here, 0.444. You have to remember your place value. So the place value just to the right of the decimal was your 1/10 place value, the tenths. Then the next one was the hundredths. Then the third one was your thousandths place value. So since this, the very last one, is your thousandth place value, the way you turn this into a fraction is you say 4, 4, 4. You just take your numbers, and then this is the thousandths place value, and so you put it over 1,000. This is read as 444 thousandths. That's how you read it in decimal. So to turn it into a fraction, 444 over 1,000, or 444 thousandths. Then once you turn it into a fraction, you always reduce. So I'm pretty sure I can reduce by 4. Might even can reduce more. So divide them both by 4. 444 divided by 4 will be 111 over 1,000 divided by 4, 250. And then I don't think that I can reduce that any more. So that would be your final answer. Now look at 20D number 12.16. Well, this first place value is your tenth, then this is your hundredths. So to turn it into a fraction, you just take these numbers, 16, and then hundredths place value over 100. So this says 16 hundredths. So the one way you can remember it is 2 decimal places, 2 zeros in your denominator. Okay? Then you always reduce. We can for sure reduce by 4 for both. 16 divided by 4, 4. 100 divided by 4, 25. And then I don't think you can reduce any more. So always reduce your fractions if you can. Looking at 20E number 9. Take your decimal and you turn it into a fraction. This 0 is your tenth place value. This is your hundredths place value. So take this number, which is 0.8, but you don't have to write it as that. You just write it as 8 over 2 decimal places, 2 zeros, because that's your hundredths place value, so that has to be a 100. Now reduce. So we can reduce by 4. You'll start learning what things you can reduce 100 by. You can reduce it by you can reduce 100 by 2, by 4, by 5, but you have to be able to reduce both by the same thing. So 8 divided by 4, 2. 100 divided by 4, 25, and you can't reduce that anymore.